Thank you very much, members of the press here present, ladies and gentlemen. I think it is very important for me to really state the fact that we are holding this press conference at a time where we are also, for some of us, commemorating the dark season of 2008 after the harmonized elections. You remember very well that from April to June, we had mayhem, we had violence unprecedented, and that was unprecedented, unleashed onto the citizens of this nation. And it is no coincidence that we are also approaching yet another election. And we have to make it very clear that as a church and civic society, we will not just fold our hands inactive as perpetrators of violence repeat what they have done. We are saying no, and therefore calling upon the executive and various political parties to walk the talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll hold this press conference with the heavy hearts, utter dismay, shock at events unfolding in our nation's political spheres. As a nation, we had high expectations of an election that is peaceful and possibly fair, but our hearts bleed as we hear shocking utterances by supposedly mature and educated national leaders in the persons of Deputy Minister of Finance, Honorable Mukupe, and Provincial Governor Hungwe. These two individuals seem to believe that Zimbabweans are still docile enough to be intimidated and silenced by reference to violence and use of bullets on the citizens who disagree with a particular political viewpoint. At least in the spirit of the so-called new dispensation, it is shameful to hear such disregard for justice from people of their status, and therefore this, what they have done and what they have said, cannot go without condemnation. We want to make it very clear and want to make it known today that we condemn in the strongest of terms these reckless utterances by the two senior ZANU-PF party members who threatened and intimidated the electorate with the use of army as in the past. Now, Governor Hungwe, you will remember, goes further to shamefully tell the nation that Mnangagwa will not hesitate to shoot anyone attempting to stand on his way to power. We want to challenge President Mnangagwa to urgently act in practical ways beyond just mere rebukes and mere refutals. What continues to dishearten and shock us as the church, civic groups, and citizens is the lack of decisive action against the reckless political party members by their superiors. Absence of such actions drives the sad message that the superiors of these political parties agree with the statements and actions by their juniors and probably benefit from those actions. We observe with utter disgust that despite lip service assurances from political leaders, violent political insinuations appear to gather momentum, whilst intra-party violence in both major political outfits continues. Sadly, the MDC appears to also be developing appetite for intra-party violence with reports of skirmishes actually reaching our ears. Now, the recent bowing, jeering with expletives and Gibes held at Thokozani Kupe at the court are a clearest indication that the opposition is also failing to resolve their political differences amicably. As the nation watches in shock, we wish to send a very clear message to all political parties that the church will not just condemn such evils, but will take a very biblical and principled stance in that we will continue to mobilize citizens to use their vote to block candidates and parties that condone violence. We therefore, through this statement and other upcoming campaigns, appeal to the more than 80% Christians and other peace-loving citizens to distance themselves from unbrotherly and irresponsible candidates together with their parties if those parties fail to reprimand their members. Gone are the days when the people would expect the church to be a passive player in national justice. As Zimbabwe Divine Destiny in particular, and as a wing of the church, we will not hesitate to further on publicly decampaign those candidates bent on destroying human lives just for the sake of winning elections. It is both ungodly and unconstitutional, God forbids. Now, we will like to announce today that as Zimbabwe Divine Destiny and other like-minded organizations, we will be conducting a series of peace marches dubbed Walk the Talk. Starting this Thursday, the 31st of May, we will be making the following demands. Number one, government must institute and activate special mechanisms for quick response to arrest electoral violence. Number two, Army must retract its 2002 stance where they stated that a route to State House is straight-jacketed. And they made it very clear that they would not salute anybody who does not have war credentials. And we demand that they commit themselves to respecting people's choices. Number three, traditional leaders must publicly retract their partisan stance and commit themselves to respecting people's choices. And finally, political parties must act swiftly on party cadres who fan and or practice violence. As I conclude, I would like to invite church groups, all citizens, to come and join us in our march for peace on the 31st of May. That is the day after tomorrow, where we will meet corner 3rd Street and Central Avenue, march to Africa Unity Square, where we will converge from 12 to 2 o'clock, hearing speeches, making declarations and prayers for our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.